In these forests, just one enraged wild boar is enough to put the whole area on alert. And today, we're out here on the ground, accompanying the control team tasked with protecting nearby communities. Wild boar numbers in Turkey are exploding. They appear without warning, tear through crops, destroy soil, and have caused more than a few injuries to people in the woods. Farmers call them the shadows of the fields, because in a single night, they can wipe out months of hard work. The control team must intervene, at the right time, in the right way, and within the law. This isn't recreation. This is responsibility. To the land, to the environment, and to the people who live around these forests. Wild boar in Turkey behave differently from boar in Texas. They're bolder, less afraid of human noise, and tend to move in tighter formations. That means controlling them requires a different tactic, less about speed, more about reading the mountain terrain and their pack behavior. We start by following their signs. The ground is freshly torn, moist dirt kicked aside, new trails carved through the brush. Proof the herd passed only minutes earlier. The team leader signals silently. Everyone falls into formation. This is the most critical step, one member whispers. Read the tracks wrong, and you might meet the whole herd at dangerously close range. The team shifts into Surek Avi, a traditional pressure and drive method. Hunters spread into a wide arc, each keeping strict spacing. No one pushes ahead, no one breaks position. Dry leaves crackle, breathing grows heavier with the climb. There's no chaos here, only calm movements, skill, and field experience. In the forest, the danger isn't the noise, it's the silence. When the birds stop, the wind pauses, and the woods feel tense. It usually means the herd is changing direction or preparing to break through. Veteran hunters in America call this reading the silence, a skill taught only by time. Minutes later, a massive boar steps out of the tree line, far larger than normal, easily over 130 kilograms. Everything slows. A few team members adjust their stance to avoid crossing each other's firing lanes. Boars have a sense of smell 1,000 times stronger than humans. In Surek Avi, the team always positions themselves with the wind blowing from the herd toward them, never the other way around. A tiny mistake in wind direction can turn the entire hunt upside down. The moment lasts only seconds, but feels like a stretched wire ready to snap. Without warning, another boar bursts from the brush, charging straight at the lead hunter. A full-grown boar can knock a man down like nothing. The team reacts instantly, opening a lane, sidestepping left, blocking its escape route. Even the most experienced hunters stay on high alert for this. A boar can change direction in the blink of an eye. In the northern pine forest, the team spots a big herd heading toward a valley filled with farms. Everyone accelerates, shifting into a stronger push formation. Each member controls their pace, firing angles, and the herd's direction, making sure the boars don't spill into residential land. This phase demands absolute focus, maintaining safe spacing between hunters while guiding a high-risk herd away from civilization. At the last ridge, the team finally sees the herd's path from above. From here, they identify exactly which areas must stay protected, and which direction the herd must not be allowed to enter. Push them toward the eastern thicket, the commander orders. Everyone moves into their assigned positions, sealing off the dangerous routes. Within minutes, the herd is driven deep back into the forest, far from any farmland. No extra action needed, no unnecessary risk taken. Today, the forest is safe again, but the fight against this aggressive invasive species never truly ends. The wild boars will return, and the silent guardians of these woods will be ready every time. For several nights straight, a massive herd of wild boars has been tearing through a cornfield skirting the forest. Deep claw marks and tracks the size of a man's fist crisscross the field, an eerie sign that sends chills down everyone's spine. Today, we decided to go after the ringleaders. The locals call them the Black Shadows of the Red Soil. Our team came fully loaded. Flycam drones, rifles, tracking gear, everything ready for a full-scale showdown with these beasts. As dawn broke, our Ford Raptor roared into the forest. The question lingering in everyone's mind, will we truly come face to face with the monsters today? We started at the forest edge, where fresh tracks stood out clearly on the damp earth. Not far off, maybe 60 meters, a medium-sized boar was hiding in the underbrush. I signaled my teammate to flank right while I held center. The moment the boar poked its head out, I squeezed the trigger. Direct hit! The bullet punched through its body, dropping it instantly. Clean start. We quickly examined the area and moved forward. We continued deeper into the forest, sticking close to a narrow trail. Suddenly, rustling ahead, getting louder. Turns out, another boar was digging around, likely scavenging. Range, 80 meters. Wind, slight, blowing against us. I adjusted for wind and lowered the shot angle, waiting for it to turn broadside. Bang! The boar collapsed right there. We marked the site, recorded footage with a phone, and pressed on, heading north. The sun climbed higher, and while visibility improved, every step became riskier. We swept nearby areas, and within 10 minutes, I spotted another boar peeking from the brush. I moved in, steadied my aim, and fired. First shot struck its side. It jolted and tried to bolt. I quickly followed up with a second round, straight into the chest. That brought it down for good. Another threat neutralized. As we wrapped up collecting the spoils, our scout radioed in. Movement spotted at 4 o'clock. I advanced swiftly and managed to close in. I picked cover behind a tree, looked through the scope. Angle was tricky, roughly 30 degrees off, and the target was farther than usual. I fired. The bullet struck its shoulder. It staggered, but didn't fall. The beast roared and tore into the dense forest. It almost got away, but we had planned ahead. Earlier, my team and I had coordinated and set a trap. Just as expected, the boar burst out right into my teammate's line of fire. No hesitation, he steadied his aim, lined up the headshot, and pulled the trigger. One clean shot. Game over. The forest went dead silent. Another monster taken down. We were just about to call it a day when a faint noise came from the forest edge. A smaller boar, likely separated from the herd, crept cautiously into view. No target goes unclaimed. I raised my rifle, waited for it to step into the kill zone, and fired the final shot. A clean hit! A collective sigh of relief swept through the team. scattered shell casings, the scent of damp earth, and the fresh tracks left behind all stand as witness to a day of relentless pursuit and precise action. Every step of the hunt was carried out in a state-approved hunting zone, in strict compliance with the state's regulations. Coming back to visit my mother, my heart sank as I looked across the rice fields. Once lush and nearly ready for harvest, now left in ruins. Countless hoofprints told a story that couldn't be denied. Wild boars had torn through our land like a storm. That's why we set out, not just for my family, but for the sweat and effort of the entire village. Would we return safely from this mission? Only time would tell. Today's strategy was clear. Each man had a designated position, radios at the ready for coordination and backup. Our camo was scent marked to perfection, boots built for traction on uneven terrain, and our trusty Land Rover Defender stood by, ready to carry us into the heart of danger. Before sunrise, I was already stationed inside my hunting blind, about 40 meters downwind from the auto feeder. At exactly 6 o'clock a.m., the machine would release corn, its crunching sound and rich scent the perfect bait to lure in the pigs. Minutes later, a hulking shadow emerged from the mist, lumbering toward the feeder. The moment it lowered its head, completely unaware, this was the golden moment. I slowly raised my rifle, lined up the crosshairs on its weak spot, held my breath, and squeezed the trigger. The first shot hit its mark, a clean takedown. The hunt had begun. Less than an hour later, David's voice crackled through the radio. Another target down, one more glutton off the field. Gunshots echoed through the woods, each one a declaration. Peace is being restored. Moments later, more shots rang out from the team. Everything was going exactly as planned. The sun was high. We moved deeper into boar territory. Based on years of experience, I picked a spot behind a massive tree, upwind, overlooking a small clearing, a perfect shooting lane. Soon, a group of wild boars emerged, unsuspecting. I waited, breath held, as they stepped into my kill zone. Boom! One shot, 2 targets. The bullet tore through the air, hitting its mark with deadly precision. They never even had the chance to cry out. The deeper we ventured, the darker it became. Then, the unmistakable rustling and snorting of pigs up ahead. They were busy feasting, unaware of the danger watching from behind a tree.
You smoked him.
I locked in on the biggest one, likely the leader. One deep breath, and I pulled the trigger. Another menace wiped from the land. That shot was the result of years of discipline, patience, and instinct, honed by countless hunts. David's voice crackled over the radio. "Big sounder spotted, West Forest Edge." We moved in immediately to assist. When we arrived, an entire herd of wild boar, big and small, were lost in their feeding. Tactic now was clear: take out the alpha. My eyes swept across the group, searching for the largest, most aggressive animal.
Wait till I'm getting in range.
I calmly locked the crosshairs on the leader and squeezed the trigger. The round struck true. The big boar collapsed. With its commander gone, the herd scattered like a hive struck by a blow. The greatest threat was neutralized. We let out a collective sigh of relief. Dusk had fallen, but the mission wasn't over. This is when they're most active. We returned to our ambush points near the feeder. Night descended, and the shadows returned. The boars had no idea the Reaper was waiting. I picked the largest of the bunch and gave it the final shot, the last strike that closed out a tense but effective day of hunting. Doing this work takes more than guts, quick reflexes, and persistence. It takes a heart of steel that doesn't flinch at danger. Everything we do is to protect the rice fields heavy with grain, to buy peace for the village. Which shot impressed you the most? Drop a comment below.
Les bêtes sauvages ont semé la terreur parmi les fermiers, causant des millions de dollars de dégâts. Aujourd'hui, les tireurs d'élite ne sont pas là pour intimider, mais pour mettre fin à cette menace. De vieilles embuscades et des affrontements palpitants, tout cela pour protéger les récoltes et rétablir la paix pour les fermiers. Auront-ils le courage d'abattre la bête avant qu'elle ne fasse plus de ravages? Restez à l'écoute pour découvrir les moments les plus palpitants qui les attendent. La forêt enneigée est connue pour être un repère de bêtes sauvages en hiver. Après des jours de froid glacial, le soleil a finalement percé aujourd'hui et l'équipe de Finn s'est rassemblée tôt, prête pour la bataille à venir. L'équipe s'est rapidement dispersée, suivant de faibles traces sur la neige immaculée. Soudain, au plus profond de la forêt, une ombre sombre a filé à travers les arbres denses, chargeant rapidement pour se cacher dans les sous-bois. En moins d'une seconde, sa forme est clairement apparue dans le réticule. Le fusil était prêt et le tireur d'élite a appuyé sur la détente. Le sanglier s'est effondré instantanément, incapable de s'échapper. Une élimination rapide et précise. À un autre endroit, Finn s'était mis à couvert, prêt à voir apparaître sa cible. Les voilà, deux sangliers chargeant vers lui à distance. Visant avec précision, un coup de feu retentit, les abattant tous les uns après les autres, ne leur laissant aucune chance de s'échapper. Tout fut géré proprement et avec détermination. Chaleur, chaleur. L'équipe s'enfonça rapidement dans la forêt où les bêtes sauvages se cachaient en plus grand nombre. Soudain, un signal du dispositif de repérage retentit, indiquant une cible à proximité. L'équipe se déploya, resserrant l'encerclement, déterminée à ne laisser personne s'échapper. Un membre de l'équipe repéra un mouvement dans les broussailles denses, un sanglier passant à travers. Sans hésitation, des coups de feu rapides retentirent, coupant la voie de fuite de la bête. Quel réflexe rapide comme l'éclair! Grâce à eux, une autre menace fut éliminée. Tirez. Rejoignit l'équipe de Nick pour une chasse dans la forêt dense où des rapports annonçaient que des bêtes féroces faisaient des ravages. L'équipe de Nick arriva tôt, se déployant à des positions stratégiques, prête à intercepter le troupeau. Quelques minutes plus tard, au plus profond de la forêt, un tireur d'élite aperçut une silhouette familière émergeant lentement de l'épaisse canopée. Un coup de feu retentit et la bête s'effondra instantanément, inconsciente de ce qui venait de se passer. Chaleur. Chaleur. Dehors, Nick gardait les yeux ouverts, ne manquant aucun mouvement. Soudain, un bruissement rompit le silence. Dans la direction du bruit, un sanglier sortit lentement, complètement inconscient du prédateur étendu sous son poids. Un coup de feu retentit rapidement, ne laissant pas le temps à la bête de réagir. Elle s'effondra instantanément. Les échos des coups de feu résonnèrent dans la forêt, signalant que d'autres menaces avaient été neutralisées. La forêt retrouva sa paix inhérente, du moins pour aujourd'hui. La chasse aux sangliers sauvages est une bataille palpitante où la frontière entre la vie et la mort est très mince. Les tireurs d'élite qui manquent de sang-froid ou qui ne réagissent pas aux situations soudaines risquent de finir par être abandonnés à la place des bêtes.
At first light, our team was already in position. Not long after, the first target emerged, roaming as if it owned the forest. But in the wild, overconfidence is a deadly weakness, and I had been waiting for that very moment. Take note, everyone. Never pull the trigger too early, just because the prey is in your sights. Wait until its guard is down. That's the golden moment for any hunter. The first shot was enough to weaken the boar, but not to finish it. Wounded, it spun around and veered off in a desperate attempt to escape.
Cacerías que organicen.
The frantic speed of a wounded wild boar is enough to throw any rookie into a panic, but not me. wounded animal will always head uphill. It's instinct. And just as it charged toward the slope, trying to make its escape, the second shot dropped it cold, ending the chase and restoring the forest's peace once more. After taking down the first one, we continued sweeping the area and soon came face to face with another group. The tension was razor sharp, demanding quick reflexes and split-second decisions. A single bullet hit its mark, dropping the wild boar just before it could vanish into the dry woods. A calm, calculated shot under pressure. Its companions managed to slip away, but don't worry, we're not stopping until we track them all down. The chase led us into terrain with limited visibility, but that was no problem for David. With over 20 years of hard-earned experience, he knew exactly where those wild boars would circle back. The ones that escaped earlier were bound to pass through this area. And sure enough, when one of them appeared, there was no chance David would let the opportunity slip. The gunshot rang out before the smoke had even cleared. The boar was already down, clean and precise. In any hunt, experience and composure are the keys to victory. With the target secured, we finally took a moment to catch our breath and gather our strength for what's next. Back in the snow-covered woods, the cold couldn't slow our steps. In fact, it made the prey even more frantic. It weaved through the trees like a ghost, but Kevin had already mapped out its path. The moment it broke into a rare clearing was the moment his bullet found its mark. In every hunt, the ability to anticipate the target's movement is the key that allows us to take control. Clean, efficient, and decisive. As we pushed onward across the snowy hills, we came across a bold one. The white snow made the perfect backdrop, exposing every clumsy attempt at camouflage. The wild boar, thinking itself invisible behind a few spindly trees, had no idea its illusion was about to shatter. With just a gentle squeeze of the trigger, Thomas ended it right there. Overconfidence turned its hiding place into a grave. What do you think was that false sense of security its biggest mistake? By day's end, the cold had seeped through every layer of clothing, but it couldn't shake my focus. As the herd of wild boars charged through, I quickly locked onto a young one. One clean pull of the trigger, and it dropped against the snow-white backdrop, while the rest vanished into the deep woods. Stay calm, stay focused, let experience guide you. That's the mark of a true hunter in those fleeting, decisive moments.
In the scorching midday heat, news came in that a wild boar herd had suddenly stormed through the fields, causing chaos and panic across the region. Without wasting a second, the protection hunting team immediately set out, heading straight for their hideout. Ahead of us, danger looms. Behind us, the livelihoods of countless families depend on our success. Will our determination be strong enough to stop these monsters? Stay with us until the end to find out how this tense showdown unfolds. In our kayak boat, we quietly glide into what we believe is the Boar's mud bath gathering spot. Our sharp eyes scan every inch of the surrounding area, missing nothing. And there it is! The victory sounds echo briefly, but with unwavering resolve. This is a challenge, but more than that, it's a responsibility to preserve the life and peace of this land. With our fighting spirit intact, the team immediately spreads out, encircling and blocking every possible escape route within the tangled swamp. The airboats speed up, closely tracking the wild boars, which are charging at incredible speed through their own territory. The synchronicity of the team becomes a key factor, opening up an opportunity for Jack to deliver the decisive blow. This isn't just a counterattack, it's a declaration of ownership and responsibility for protecting the villagers. The tension remains high, and John is about to make a bold decision. As he receives the target signal, he quietly leaves the boat and moves stealthily toward the target. There it is. Despite the distance, John maintains complete control over the situation. His refined skills and relentless training have molded him into a resilient marksman, steady in his mission to protect the crops and the lives of the people in this land. Thanks to his bold decision, John manages to approach several targets hidden deep within the swamp's corners. Each precise shot forces the boars to retreat, pulling the hidden dark figures out into the open. Without a hint of panic, John knows we are ready for anything. His calmness and battle-hardened composure turn every danger into an opportunity for this mission, which is nearing its victorious conclusion. When we finally locate them, a swift charge surrounds and neutralizes the elusive creatures quickly, precisely and decisively. Within minutes, the swamp quiets down, the only sound being the scattered remains of the fallen boars. Clear evidence of the team's coordination and relentless determination. Wild boars are known for being tough adversaries, but today, the team's preparation has made the mission smoother, bringing us closer to victory. As the afternoon sun begins to set, the hunt enters a more difficult phase as the trail of the wild boars begins to fade. But our pursuit remains undeterred. After 15 minutes, the last of the dark shapes is finally found. The echoes of the chase and the cheers of victory quickly follow. Our mission to protect this land can now come to an end. Today's hunt wasn't just about winning a battle, it was about protecting a community, a deep reminder of humanity's responsibility toward nature. Every decision was made under the permission of the authorities, ensuring ecological balance and the protection of the wild populations. Every step, every shot is a blend of skill, teamwork, and determination. While we've captured a significant number of wild boars, bringing peace to the fields, this journey isn't over yet.